Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Let me introduce myself first. My name is Siti Nurkasanah Ayunda Ambai Putri. I am from class Business English Communication B. Today, I will bring a presentation assignment for the Intercultural Communication course. Okay, to shorten the time, let's get started. The first slide is the any title of the presentation. The title is Dimension of Intercultural Interactions and Conflict. The next slide is Importance to Understanding Cultural Differences. Intercultural communication offers the ability to deal across cultures, which is increasingly important as the world gets smaller. Getting smaller doesn't mean the world is becoming identical. It means having more and more contact with people who are culturally different. Importance to understanding cultural differences has two objectives. The first is identify intercultural communication techniques, and the second is discuss how conflict can arise from cultural differences. The next is intercultural communication. Intercultural communication is the verbal and non-verbal interaction between people from different cultural backgrounds. In the other words, is the process of communicating with people from another culture. Intercultural communication is about much more than just language, since so much of communication is nonverbal. With globalization, cross-cultural communication is very important because it is very useful when we visit or communicate with other people who come from other regions or countries. Here are any 4 benefits for intercultural communication. The first is learn another culture. When communicating with other cultural people, we can learn about various cultures. This is a good thing because it can reduce racist behavior. Racist people usually have the mindset that other culture have stereotypes, and even though these stereotypes are not necessarily true. By doing a lot of cross-cultural communication, we can reduce this wrong paradigm. And the second is adapt to differences. Understanding other cultures is a prelude to adapting to different norms. When we understand other people, then slowly we can adapt to these new customs and habits. This adaptation will mature and expand our mindset. And the third is build bridges between cultures. Most conflicts between cultures occur because both parties do not want to communicate and understand each other. If we are willing to open ourselves up to learn new things, then the conflicts between cultures that often occur can actually be avoided. And the last benefit is improve communication skills. Communication always has certain obstacles. However, in intercultural communication, the obstacles that arise are certainly more numerous and more complex than communication between people from the same culture. By communicating a lot with people of different cultures, our communication skills will be more honed. Okay, the next is cultural norms. Sociologists speak of at least 4 types of norms. There are folkways, mores, taboos, and laws. Folkways, sometimes known as conventions or customs, are standards of behavior that are socially approved but not morally significant. For example, belching loudly after eating dinner at someone else's home breaks an American folkway. Mores are norms of morality. Breaking mores, like attending church in the nude, will offend most people of a culture. Certain behaviors are considered taboo, meaning a culture absolutely forbids them, like in case in US culture. Finally, laws are a formal body of rules enacted by the state and backed by the power of the state. Virtually all taboos, like child abuse, are enacted into law, although not all more are. For example, wearing a bikini to church may be offensive, but it is not against the law. Okay, the next is symbolic exchange process. Intentions are inferred and culture-based interpretations are formed. Before we know each other as self to one another in terms of interacting, there's a lot of inferring of intentions based upon what we know. This is why we study intercultural interactions and why it's important. This whole class is really to open up our minds as libraries of knowledge to be aware of this extra layer. That there's other layer of reality occurring between people of different cultures that explains the behavior of one another and the social differences we have. It's so important to have this layer of understanding because without it there's no one more chance that an interaction could go wrong and we could choose either to disengage or we could choose even worse to stereotype and generalize and separate and maybe even react, which really at a global level would be a sad thing. The opportunity for all of us is to understand this layer and to work better and faster together. The next is globalization. Globalization means the speed up of movements and exchange of human beings, goods and services, capital, technologies or cultural practices all over the planet. Globalization is increasing the volume and intensity of interpersonal interactions. Then, I think all of us are feeling it no matter where we are listening into this lesson. It's ever important to be aware of how to negative such interactions, to harness the power of global resources. Technologies have been primarily used only in the last 15 years and has allowed great intimacy between people around the world. With that intimacy comes an increase in transaction volume and intensity. Okay, the next is diversity. Diversity is differences in racial and ethnic, socio-economic, geographic, and academic or professional backgrounds. People with different opinions, backgrounds, or degrees and social experiences, religious beliefs, political beliefs, sexual orientations, heritage, and life experience. Here there are four kinds of diversity. The first is internal diversity. Internal diversity includes individual experiences and backgrounds. Internal diversity examples may include how people were raised, where they went to school, previous job experience, and etc. Not every piece of the diversity puzzle can fit neatly into a category. Internal diversity refers to differences in various defining personal traits such as race, ethnic, age, national origin, and cultural identity. And the second is external diversity. External diversity is often displayed in a person's appearance. External diversity can include but is not limited to gender, age, ethnicity, and sometimes even religion. External diversity refers to differences in various defining personal traits such as personal interest, education, appearance, citizenship, religious beliefs. And the third is organizational diversity. Organizational diversity in the workplace refers to the total makeup of the employee workforce and the amount of diversity included. Organizational diversity refers to differences in various defining personal traits such as job function, place of work, management status, employment status, pay type, and seniority. And the last diversity is worldview diversity. Worldview diversity is another diversity type that changes with time. We concept We conceptualize the world differently as we have new experiences and learn more about ourselves and each other. There are still nuances within our worldviews, but some examples include political beliefs, moral compass, outlook on life, epistemology. And the last material is about speed to market. Speed to market, a clunky phrase that is just what it sounds like, means how fast you can get your product or service on the market, from inception to an actual purchasable good. With so much innovation and competition in the marketplace today, being the first to debut a new product or feature has its advantage. Speed to market is a great advantage of intercultural understanding. The expectation to bring ideas to market are ever increasing. The speed of business is another strategic weapon for companies, and as such, understanding cultural differences provides a lubricant to accelerate global teams moving faster to produce results. Companies are looking to achieve greater revenue and lower costs through going deeper internationally. That requires trust, important word trust, to be built over borders between people, in order to move people to act together faster and move effectively. There are any forecasts to accelerate your speed to market. The first is focus, the second is agility, the third is motivation, and the last is efficiency. This is a bibliography. And okay, I think that's enough for my presentation today. Thank you very much, and assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.